As moon rises, the sun slips sight. Begins the ritual of this night. For those convinced their path is right. Gathered from north, south, east and west, yet called at another's behest, those treading the path that is left. From near and far, come as you are to this place, and embrace this space, as darker hue embraces you. Of water, spirit, earth and fire, confessing the sins of empire, we come with our wounds and desire. Sensing that we are not alone, drawn to the flame that guides us home, for here you, me and yet to be. Importance and signs of these times, for the sake of all those maligned, is yet the home of the divine.
Yeah, there we are. Hello. Ha ha. Yes, it's good to see you here, mother. Glad you're home safe. It was awesome to meet you in the home of Robin Hood, that historical man who didn't live in Yorkshire. It was nice to visit the home of Robin of Sherwood. And it was ace because we saw a robin, not Robin Hood, a bird robin. But maybe it was Robin Hood. Maybe that robin is called Robin Hood because the amazing Sherwood Forest Visitor Centre that I used to go to when I was little than I am now is now an RSPB sanctuary. Yes. So evening, Mother, Tim, Sally, Matthew. Who else? It felt like a full house. Joyce, rejoice, it's Joyce, and Leslie too, and Rachel still, and Nigel's in the room. I shall decide to sing the entire Compline tonight. Yeah. Robin, hey, brave Sir Robin. Yeah, he was chicking out and bugging off and running away and... yes, Robin from Leeds. You're Robin? Oh, really? Oh, wow. What? Wait, hold on. Which... I hope Mr. Baker not tried to intimate that the actual Robin Hood historical figure that he was, wearing hose, not tights, ever went anywhere near Leeds. It used to upset me when I went around the Tales of Robin Hood, which is sadly no more. It was like the Nottingham equivalent of the Viking Centre, the Jorvik Centre, but really quite pants. It's no more. And he had a little card in the shape of an arrow. You see what they did there? And it had some memorabilia from Robin of Sherwood with Michael Pride and the less good second, third series with Jason Connery, and one or two bits from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. But it gave you an arrow and it had questions around it. And it genuinely said, are they mad? Which county did Robin Hood live in? Yorkshire. No. And thrice. No. Just bear with me. Bear with me. I'm going to put some holy music on. Do, 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 do. Your call is not really important to us. Try ringing somebody who cares. Do, 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 do. I've just ordered a dustbin for Tim. There we go. Oh, it's arrived. Dustbin for Tim. There we go. No, the wife. Anyway, how's your Monday been? I had a lovely time taking the Sproglets to Headwinds Toe to see Nana and Grandpapa. That was cool and muddy and cold and ace. And we got back before it sort of froze everywhere, which is good. No, there we are. Good. Thank you, Tim. Yeah, good. I see what I realise. I'm glad, we're all about love and forgiveness here, and I'm glad you've seen the error of your ways. Dear. What? Robin of Locksley gin made in Sheffield? What the blue blazers? Really? What the Lincoln green laces? What? No. Look, Yorkshire, they've bagged literally tea, Yorkshire tea, and like everything else, they can put the word Yorkshire before it, and it's therefore better, right? I'm sorry, Nottinghamshire, we're Robin Hood is an East Midlands boy, all right? Yeah. Yes. Love, forgiveness, and petty regional arguments. It's not God's county, it's mine. The earth is the Lord's, and everything in it, with the possible exclusion. No. How to make friends, not make friends, and make enemies. Yes. Anyway, only joking, of course. Evening, Aaron. How was your launch? Please check the Metal Methodist Facebook.com/Metal Methodist for Aaron's new video of a new song. Do support that. Anyway, yeah, so that was a cool day. So I am tacking. I'm saying not one, but 1,000 thank yous. And I'm saying it in Old Norse because I like metal, especially Viking metal. Oh, Valhalla to the fridge. Valhalla to the fridge of David. Valhalla to the do-do-do-do. So I wonder what you might want to be thankful for today. What in the day has lifted your soul, your spirit, your heart, given you hope, given you a glimpse that, do you know what, despite everything, there is a force of love at work in this world. Some of a time coming where there will be peace and justice. And have you had a glimpse of that today, whether through the beauty of creation, in conversation, reading, watching stuff? Who knows? I'd like to know. Sounds. Yeah. In another 7 years, when I have a sabbatical. There we go. Right. So these lyrics, as we spot those things to be thankful for today. I'm still in a bit of a petty trip. Sorry. I am on the rock, the sure foundation. I am on the rock, his revelation. Though the winds may blow and though the floods may grow, I shall not be moved. And as we've gone down sort of retro medieval type film and television, I shall not be moved. No, none shall pass. None shall pass. None. I'm going to keep saying it until I find the next thing that comes next. None shall pass. Juice and time! Ooh. You could have blown me down with a feather. I took this from a bit of fletching going on this afternoon. That's arrow making, people, in case you're wondering. So this is. I thought I'm just noting down Mr. Baker's Yorkshire comments with my quill in a very Robin Hoody way. Random. So, choose attacks. Yes, with brother. Yeah, for Sherwood Forest fun. Oh, Bob Fleming. What is that then? What? When did you get what? Why? Yes, choose attack for just having time off. Yes. Yeah. Choose attacks for ink and glass pen and a daughter. Oh, cool. So Sally, is it Jacques Urbain? Jacques Urban? Is it a pen by Jack Urban? Is it where's your glass dip from and what ink did you get? Welcome to Monday Fountain Pen Club. A bit like Pauline from the League of Gentlemen. I like pens. Yes, and also choose attack tab off for Tim as well. Choose an attack from Tim. Lots of T's, triple T, TNT. Again. Just quite relaxing. ASMR feather. Is that doing anything? Is it triggering anybody? Anyway, so perhaps this stuff today, despite time off, despite Sherwood Forests, despite the joy of Robin Hood being from Real and have been from Nottinghamshire, and ink and pens. Despite all of that, there might be some stuff that's been a bit rubbish today. And the good news is we can acknowledge it together and before God, with God, and we can let go of it. We can, if we're carrying stuff that's heavy, then we can take up Jesus' offer to carry that with us and for us. As we do, some lyrics from Stryper. Yes, never quoted any Stryper lyrics. I have to say, I never really got into Stryper. I think by the time I discovered Stryper, yes, actually, Tim, yes, it is Metalink. Yes, because we clerical types have to use registrizing, which is iron gall made from oak. And you know where oaks can grow? They grow in Sherwood Forest. And you know who lived in an oak? Yes, he did. Robin Hood. And where is that oak? Oh, it's in Nottinghamshire. Just saying. Yes, iron gall ink. Liable to rot your pen, but good fun along the way. Pen. Pen emojis. Nice. Nice nibbage. Look at the nib on that. Yeah, so there's stuff you can lay down. So some links from Stryper. I never really got into Stryper, so thought lots of people are. I ought to find some Stryper lyrics. So here are some from the song Loving You. I feel I should wear something yellow and black for this, so I shall put my witch hazel scarf on. I was so confused, not knowing what to do with myself. I was being used, blinded, I was headed for hell. Anger in my heart, life was such a drag for me. Then I made a start to serve the living God. Now I'm free. So, lovely people, whatever it is that we are carrying that we need to and want to turn away from and need to let go of and to lay down and to allow God in Christ to help us to carry. Let us lay it down as we say together. May the peace of the All-Parent be ours this night, and with all people and all creation, in the time that is,
to come.
And so we're reading from the Metal Bible, the book of Matthew Forsyth. No, Matthew, other Matthew. Matthew chapter 2, which is preceded by chapter 1, succeeded by chapter 3, but yet difficult to find. Chapter 2, verses 13 to 18. 13 to 18. The escape to Egypt. After the wise men were gone, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream. Get up, flee to Egypt with the child and his mother, the angel said. Stay there until I tell you to return, because Herod is going to search for the child and kill him. Boo. That night, Joseph left for Egypt with the child and Mary, his mother. Not Joseph's mother, Jesus' mother. And they stayed there until Herod's death. This fulfilled what the Lord had spoken through the prophet. I called my son out of Egypt. Herod was furious when he realized that the wise men had outwitted him. Oh, sorry. I don't know why I always just get panto in my head when I read about Herod. Sorry. It's all very serious. He did terrible things to children. Nasty man. Is Herod in heaven? There's a question. Discuss. Also, where is heaven? What is heaven? We could be here a long time. He sent soldiers to kill all the boys in and around Bethlehem who were 2 years old and under, based on the wise men's report of the star's first appearance. Herod's brutal action fulfilled what God had spoken through the prophet Jeremiah. A cry was heard in Ramah, weeping and great mourning. Rachel weeps for her children, refusing to be comforted, for they are dead. Sorry, that's put me down a bit. What I wanted to kind of invite us to explore from that passage. Well, we can explore it's quite I made and the evil that men do, and it is usually men. Let's be honest, and how that can live on and on if we're not careful. But I just wonder about dreams. Joseph experiences messages from God quite a bit through dreams as we continue through this Christmas story. Have you ever experienced God through a dream? How do you experience God? How do you eat yours? No. How do you experience God? I'd love to find out. And I just wonder again, as we think, this Brits legging it from Switzerland to avoid getting quarantined, and great because they're able to travel there, afforded to be able to travel there, and they're fleeing to avoid being quarantined. But what about people who are fleeing countries and homes and livelihoods because of fear of violence and persecution and war and oppression? And some of those people who are therefore fleeing and seeking to come to this country, just as Joseph, the family of God fled and were kind of refugees in Egypt, right? So how do we respond to people today who are fleeing to escape danger? What is our response? So kind of two questions, really. We can just talk about whatever you want to if you want. Karen talking about pens. I'm very happy to do that. But yeah, how do you experience God? And what is our response today to people who are fleeing? Let's discuss. And as we do, some music. We've had some lovely Surrender the Egg type tonight. So something a bit more maybe kind of traditional heavy metal. We've been playing a bit of FG as well, so we've had a bit of parry metal type stuff. So it's time for some Stairway and the Legends. Mr. Andy Thomas and Mr. Graham Leslie. And yes, I have found it. So yeah, please do comment. Also, let me know anything you want to offer in terms of prayer. But let's talk about dreams. Let's talk about how you experience God. Let's talk about our response to people who, as Jesus and his family had to do, are fleeing to avoid danger, death, persecution. How do we respond? particularly if they are coming to a country where we live. Big finish. So, evening, Wayne. Yeah, evening, Catherine. Hello, Harry. Yeah, I'll give you a bell if I can get my phone back and sort of speaker out. So, yeah, if those who are just joining, we were kind of reading about Joseph and Mary and Jesus fleeing to avoid Herod's genocide of children, but focusing on the fact that Joseph several times encounters or hears and receives messages from God through dreams. So, wondering how you experience God, but thinking about those who are fleeing, the idea that God in Jesus, one of us, becomes a refugee, and what is our response to those fleeing dangerous situations and persecutions, maybe fleeing to countries where we might live. What is our response to them? So please do drop in any comments. Love to know what you think, and also anything we want to share for prayer. Share for prayer. Just going back. Ooh, gone back too far. Oh, right. So, Sally, thank you for sharing that. So, after a miscarriage, you had a dream where you kind of had a vision of your twins that that came to be and who are. Wow. And perhaps the response to people fleeing is surely compassion. Yeah. I think I'd like to think so. However, I know for some people might have a different view, and that's we can talk about that in a respectful way, and not trying to do anything political. Certainly not party political. So not wanting to cause anyone to fall out. But yeah, I just wonder how we do show compassion, and I suppose we have cities of sanctuary, schools of sanctuary, churches of sanctuary here because of the Reverend Dr. Inderjit Bogle, OBE, who set up that movement, a way of supporting people who are arriving as asylum seekers or refugees within communities and community infrastructure. Maybe you have a local sanctuary of some description. If not, if you'd like, maybe one way we can show compassion is by finding out about City of Sanctuary and that movement and seeing how you as like your local church community or school community or whatever, wherever you are, might want to get involved in that and offer support to people who are arriving, having fled dangerous situations. Yeah. But I have to say, in terms of the experiencing God thing, I'm not sure that it's ever been through a dream. My problem is I very rarely remember dreams. Maybe God has been and go, "You idiot! You've forgotten the dream, you buffoon." I'm going to smite you now. I don't believe in a God who smites, by the way, people. That was just for comedy effect. Well, I say comedy. There's like alternative comedy. I am the alternative to comedy. Yes. Evening, Peter. Happy Christmas to you too. I see you had a snowy walk this afternoon. Wow, that was cool. So hope you're all okay. Thanks, Tim. Not even convinced that the nation state as we know it, with borders, etc., will survive the 21st century. Globalization being here to stay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say I'm quite a fan of, and it's all right. Maybe it's ideological, and you can all shoot me down, metaphorically, please. But I love the idea that actually it's not our country, it's not our world, continent, whatever, whichever country we happen to be in. It's God's earth, and we're all made in the image of God. And how do we kind of live that out? Is it a place with no borders? And then, yeah, I just wonder. Again, through COVID, I suppose that's just made me think. Would things? If we just, it travelled so much because of freedom of movement. But then, if we didn't have that freedom of movement and it hadn't have travelled, don't get me wrong, I am gutted, and my heart goes out to all those who've been affected, especially those who have lost loved ones through COVID, or because people couldn't get other treatments because of the response the NHS had to make to COVID and health systems in other countries as well. But part of me thinks, actually, blimey, if we had, I know there's been a bit of it recently in terms of borders being shut, and Switzerland's kind of going through it at the minute, and I think Finland as well. But yeah, this kind of thing could have really kind of led to a deepening of divisions, I guess, or a suspicion of fear. And my feeling is there's enough of that around already, and it isn't what I see in my understanding and reading of the Bible in terms of a creator God and of humanity made in God's image. So yeah, how do we hold those things together in terms of God's earth and compassion to people, and striving for peace, being peacemakers, not just peacekeepers. But alongside, when things like this do happen, how do you kind of control things in a way that is fair? And I don't know. It's huge, isn't it? And I'm not saying I've got the answers. I'm not saying anyone's got the answers. It's just, I think it's just really interesting to kind of think about and think things through. My ideological naivety of like, let's just all go anywhere and everywhere, people, because it's God's earth. But yeah, I could see weaknesses in my argument. Yeah. And well, and in terms of physical borders, actually, even if we have physical borders, do we have, are we able to take down some of the barriers in our hearts and be more hospitable and welcoming, even if there are needing to be certain physical infrastructure and stuff there? I don't know. This thing of globalization, I guess, yeah. I suppose when I've looked into it before, I've always kind of seen it as more of an economic thing, a capitalist thing, kind of globalization. I suppose, yeah, with the advent of the interweb and global communication, that's obviously aided communication, but it seems to be about, markets and flocking stuff and buying stuff across the world. But what does globalization look like when it's actually about being a global village? Hild. Hello, Hild. She's behind me. There she is. Hild of Whitby. Whitby's in Yorkshire. Not where Robin Hood comes from. That's Nottinghamshire. Thanks, Hild, for clarifying that. So Hild talks about villages of heaven. That's what she tried to set up in her community, where all were welcome from, no matter where your social status was. You all kind of shared a common table in the evening and sat around the fire, sharing songs. And Caedmon had a song in a dream. There we go, dreams. A song from God in a dream. So, like Joseph, Caedmon experienced God through dreams. But this idea of villages of heaven modelled on that early church example in Acts of how people lived in community and shared stuff, and people therefore didn't, responded to people's needs by sharing what they had together. What would globalization be if that was the sort of thing we were trying to live out? Is that possible? Could we make that happen? I don't know. Again, in my naive ideological nonsense, what are the massive pitfalls in that idea that I've just come up with? I don't know. But a global village of God. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, tell me I'm a Muppet. You're a Muppet. Yeah, I know, but in relation to what I just said. No, you're a Muppet in relation to everything you say. Oh, yeah, true. He's right, Thanks, Hild. Shut it. Get back up to Whitby. There we go. What breaks barriers? Yeah, good point. Christ in whom there is no male or female, Jew or Greek, rich or poor. And as it says in Psalm 139, as the Reverend Dr. Indrajit Bogle of City of Sanctuary Prime Mover says, it reminds us in Psalm 139 that actually this whole dark light dualistic stuff again is a kind of a hangover from some of our Greek heritage as the Christian church. Or the followers of Jesus, and actually darkness and light. There is no darkness and light. It's the same with God. Leslie. Yeah, bit of John Lennon. Yeah. Although, of course, we'd have to kind of get a version done by Gwar or Man of War or something in a sort of metal way, wouldn't we? Imagine there's no heaven. No. Above us, only sky. Look at the sky. Look at the sky. bit of power metal in there for good measure. It's inclusive, you know. Dear. Cool. Yeah, Pete, God spoke to you, Peter, through dreams a few years ago. I was working on thousands of dead fish. Ooh, we are the fishes of men. Wow, cool, man. Wow. So, yeah, so that was a dream rather than sort of a vision. Were you sort of wandering along, your mind wanders, and you notice stuff, and yeah, that's really interesting. Thank you for sharing that. I've never had a dream from God, so I might have some stinking bishop tonight before bed. And an extra baby bell. Because I am mummy's little soldier, a dairy slice. That's right. Get some good dreams on. Yeah, no, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. And yeah, globalize will nation states survive the 21st century? What a fantastically interesting question. And theologically, yeah, what's that kind of response to the nation state, and people who are fleeing from one to another? And again, you know, I'm not saying either way, you know, whether one's right, one's wrong in terms of the whole Brexit thing, but we are in a new way of being, well, about to be in a few days' time. And again, as people of faith, how do we live out our faith in a post-Brexit world? You know, yes, you could say it's about trade, it's about this, that, and the other, but also how do we hold together? Whatever we might think about those things, and whether we should have come out, shouldn't have come out, you know, our sense of loving others and seeing all, whatever country we're from, as being made in the image of God. Thank you. Cool. Yeah. Okay. So thank you, Peter. I might just ask Jesus. Yeah, I'll just pray for a dream from God, rather than eating cheese. Fair point. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And again, I suppose, you know, like with anything, whether it's a word, a sense, you think, oh, is that just me? Was that dream? Is that just more? But then you kind of just test it and act out, and, you know, just try and do your best to faithfully respond to it. And if it's of God, it will be, man. And woman, yeah, and he, she, they, everybody. Yeah, Eddie Izzard is now identifying as she, her. Yes, I think I got that right. So yeah. Anyway, sorry, Nigel. I don't think humans could live without borders or things that we put in. Yeah. There is something in our humanness, isn't there, of wanting to, you know, kind of categorize. And again, you know, look at all the amazing things that happened in terms of scientific discovery, as well as the sort of general squishing, conquering, walking all over of that was the flip side of it. But in terms of that desire to go, what is that? What is that? What do they have in common? I don't know. I'm going to find out. Right. What do I know now? Great. Whoa. Yeah, some wonderful stuff. Yeah, but that is our sense of wanting to order stuff. Is it a bit like Babel? I don't know. We want to separate things, and we just have these different languages and boxes and categories, and maybe in, you know, when heaven fully comes to earth, it will be different. I don't know. But maybe it's part of our humanness in the between times of a kingdom that is, and one day will fully be, that actually that's who we've ended up being, for our own desire for you know, well, knowledge, power. Knowledge is power. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. Really interesting. Yeah. No, I think on balance, I'd love it if we were able just to be a bit more freer. But I totally admit that, having said that, could be the most sort of naive thing, and it, you know, we try it. Maybe we do need to try it. Maybe that's how we learn as humanity. You know, we try it, and go, well, that didn't go very well then. Oops. So speaking about walls and borders, I was just in, you know, following the death of David Cornwall, aka John le Carre. I've just been watching some of the programs on iPlayer about him, and he was talking about, after the Berlin Wall came down, he's sort of lamenting what we did as humanity, particularly in the West, that rather than say, okay, we've now got to a situation where we want a different way of being towards each other, and perhaps then in Europe and with America, we can, from that better place of understanding and trust between us, we can seek to really work with and support and enable developing countries. And he said, but he kind of we didn't. We just kind of carried on putting regimes in and taking regimes out in developing countries that didn't look like our democratic ideal. So yeah, who knows? Maybe we have tried it and it doesn't quite work. I don't know. It's fascinating. And not where I expected to be going tonight. How wonderful. Okay, so in the Old Testament, right? Yeah. Okay, talks about protecting borders. Yeah. Walls can have doors. Yeah. But they need to be two-way. Yeah. Right, and that we only bound by the limitations we put on ourselves. Yeah. So again, I love this because there are no answers. There are no easy answers, that's for sure. But it's good just to talk and to share and to respect each other's opinions. And yeah, particularly if we kind of looking at the Bible as well and drawing upon that. And again, I suppose within sort of Methodism, looking at within the Bible and history, but also then kind of applying reason to that, or experience. We all apply reason to that, but yeah, all of that in the mix as we seek to just respond to the situations in the world at the moment as people of faith. And I think as long as we, within our responses, just leave enough room to go, whoops, at some point, if we discover that actually our well-meant, well-intentioned, well thought through, even prayed through kind of conclusions, perhaps words that perhaps we had got things wrapped around our heads a bit along the way, then hey, that can only be a good thing, and that's how we all learn and grow together, I guess. So shall we pray again for people trying to get to safe places, people trying to get home on borders that were unexpectedly shut. Again, people changing tiers, people dealing with floods, people having had or bracing for possibly a lot of snow. All of that. Let's pray. This is a prayerful pause, by the way. When my cat does that, he has prayerful pause. Sorry. Let us pray. To the one in whom all people and all creation have their being, may your kingdom come, your will be done, as above, so below. Sustain us for this day. Show us grace as we seek to show grace to those we feel have wronged us. There she is. Save us from the worst that is within us and within this world. For the kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours, now and forever. Amen. So before we send each other, I know I did a massive sending lyric last night. I'm doing it again because they're just... And the reason I'm doing it is because I guess I've been in my own head just revisiting some of the words that have sustained me from rock and metal through the years. And in my memory, I've got as far as Petra. I haven't done it alphabetically. It's just kind of... So, sorry, the prayers have just come through. Apologies. So, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the snow might hold off before you get new tyres done. Yes. And, yeah, prayers for a difficult funeral next week, Sally. Yeah. So, yeah. Through you. even if we don't get to know it at the time, or it doesn't feel like it, and often it doesn't. But God just takes it and does it and holds you and all those involved. And love is what people hear and feel and experience as a result. So I just want to send these lyrics, and perhaps it says whatever our response is to the questions we've asked tonight about how we kind of tune in to God and how our tuning into God impacts how we live, our values, our responses to kind of contemporary challenging situations. These words, that they might encourage, affirm, and uphold you, because Petra wrote this song, and it's a message of God to everybody. It's a message from God to you. Okay, it's your destiny to make it to the end. It's your destiny to go against the trend. Plans are already laid. Debts are already paid. It's your destiny, your place within his will. It's your destiny. You alone can fill. When you're going to see you're meant to be. You're chosen out of history. No one else can take your place. The one and only in the human race. It is your destiny. May the peace of the All-Parent be ours this night, and with all people and all creation in the time that is to come. And now, the not-isses. Because there aren't any. Do you see what I did there? Yeah.